7 signs you carry every vibration ever known, extremely rare. I want you to pause for a second, not just mentally, but energetically. Feel this moment. Not just the words I'm saying, but the space between them, and the vibration under the surface of sound. There's something deep within you that knows this isn't just another video. This is a signal, a call, a remembering. Because if you've been drawn here, it's not by accident. It's because you might be one of the rarest beings walking this earth. One of the few who carry every vibration ever known. And if that sounds impossible, I understand. We've been trained to think of ourselves as limited, defined by personality, shaped by trauma, boxed in by belief. But I'm telling you now, there are souls who were born to be everything, every frequency, every layer, every tone the universe has ever sung. This is not a metaphor. This is energetic truth. You see, the universe doesn't operate in language, it operates in vibration. Every thought, every emotion, every intention, every action beneath it all is frequency. And most people walk through life carrying a small range of these frequencies. Some are tuned to love, others to fear. Some move through joy, others dwell in rage. But there are a few, so few, that carry every single one. Not just the high ones, not just the low ones, all of them. And these souls don't just feel life, they embody it. They become living instruments, capable of vibrating with any energy, in any space, around any being. And that is both a gift and a burden. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly known what everyone was feeling before they spoke a word? Have you ever experienced emotions so complex, so layered, that you couldn't even name them? Have you ever felt like you were grieving something that didn't happen in this lifetime, or loving someone you've never met? If so, you may be one of these rare vibrational carriers. You don't just sense the world, you absorb it, process it, and reflect it back with sacred precision. That's what makes you so magnetic, so misunderstood, so powerful.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The first sign you carry every vibration is that you don't fully belong to any one spiritual path. You've tried, you've meditated in silence, you've prayed in temples, you've danced in ecstatic trance, and yet nothing feels like the full truth. That's because you weren't born to follow a single frequency. You were born to weave them all. You are a living mosaic of spiritual archetypes: mystic, warrior, healer, shadow walker, visionary. You carry the codes of each because your soul was forged not in a single realm, but in the intersections between realms. You are a bridge between dimensions, called not to choose sides, but to hold them. The second sign is emotional complexity. While others feel sadness or joy in simple tones, you feel symphonies. Your grief is not one note, it's layered, ancient, cosmic. Your joy isn't just happiness, it's remembrance. People may call you dramatic, intense, moody, but they don't understand that your emotions are not just human, they're universal. Your sadness carries the echo of every mother who's ever lost a child. Your rage carries the fire of every soul who's ever been betrayed. Your love is so vast it can terrify people who've never touched that kind of depth. And yet, you feel it all without trying. It's not something you choose. It's who you are. The third sign is energetic adaptability. You shift frequencies like water. Around some people, you become grounding and calm like earth. Around others, you become fire, igniting transformation with your presence. In solitude, you become air, expansive, reflective. And in deep connection, you become water fluid, intuitive, endless. You don't just read rooms, you become them. You don't just sense people's wounds, you merge with them. And that's why you often feel drained or scattered. Because your field is so open, so vast, that you sometimes forget where you end and the world begins. That's why boundaries are so hard for you. Not because you're weak, but because you were never meant to live behind walls. You were designed as a portal, a spiritual instrument tuned to the full spectrum of life. But until you learn to manage that spectrum, it can overwhelm you. You'll carry pain that isn't yours. You'll speak truths you didn't know you knew. You'll fall into depression, not because you're broken, but because you're processing collective shadows no one else wants to touch. And yet, despite all this, there's a strange knowing inside you. A whisper that says, this is not the end. But you've always felt like you were here for something massive, but not egoic success, not spiritual status, but something cosmic, something ancient. As if your soul was sent here to remember something the world forgot. And that remembering doesn't come through reading books or repeating mantras, but it comes through feeling everything, and through becoming so intimate with every layer of existence that you no longer fear any of it. That's when your vibration becomes truly rare, not just because it contains every frequency, but because it can hold them without resistance. So let me ask you something that only a few can even contemplate. What would happen if you stopped trying to be high vibe and instead became infinitely true? What if your deepest purpose was not to escape the lower vibrations, but to redeem them? What if the very thing you've been trying to heal is actually the key to your activation? You carry every vibration ever known. And the world doesn't need you to be pure. It needs you to be whole. The infinite mirror, when your soul reflects every emotion the universe has ever felt. There is something nearly indescribable about the way you experience people, not just their words or their energy, but their essence. It's as if you can feel their entire emotional timeline in a single glance. With their childhood fears, their unspoken dreams, with their grief layered beneath a smile, and their longing hidden beneath sarcasm. You don't just notice these things, you become them. And that's not something you chose. That's something your soul was built for. Because when you carry every vibration ever known, you don't just reflect emotions, you reflect humanity itself. You are the infinite mirror, and mirrors, by their nature, don't judge. They don't edit. They don't flinch. They simply reflect. And that's what you do to the people around you, often without realizing it. You show them themselves, not their masks, not their projections, but their core frequencies. And that's why people either love you deeply or avoid you entirely. Because being around you is like standing naked in front of a cosmic mirror. There's no hiding, no pretending, no faking it. You vibrate with too many truths for illusions to survive in your presence. And yet, here's the paradox: you often feel invisible, misunderstood, misplaced. Because as you reflect everyone else, very few people know how to reflect you. You hold so many layers that others can't grasp your depth. They see one piece of you, maybe the healer, maybe the rebel, maybe the empath, but they don't see the totality. They don't see how you can hold love and rage in the same moment, how you can be grounded and cosmic, soft and fierce, light and shadow all at once. And so, you've learned to fragment yourself just to be understood. But every time you do, a part of you aches, because you know you were never meant to be small. You were meant to be everything. The fourth sign you carry every vibration is your emotional memory, but not just of this life, but of many. You feel timelines overlapping inside you. You have memories that don't belong to this body, dreams that feel more like warnings, déjà vu that drops you to your knees. You felt grief for places you've never visited and cried over people you've never met. That's because your soul holds collective memory. It's like a living archive of human and non-human emotion. When someone near you is in pain, you don't just witness it, you remember it. Not from their perspective, but from the vibration itself. You don't need the story to feel the frequency. And that makes you a walking channel for universal empathy. But it also makes life heavy, because when you carry every vibration, you don't get to just float. You sink, you dive, you enter the underworld of emotion so fully that sometimes you forget to come back up. But you've probably gone through depression that had no clear cause, anxiety that didn't belong to you, sudden joy that felt like it came from the stars. Your inner world is not just yours, it's a collective field. And until you learn to navigate that field, it can feel like drowning in emotional data with no map. So, how do you survive this depth? You stop trying to numb it. You stop trying to label it. You start feeling with intention. You create sacred space inside yourself, not to block out the world, but to filter it. But you realize that being the infinite mirror doesn't mean you lose your identity, it means you expand it. But you begin to work with vibration like an artist. But you learn to hold grief without becoming it, to witness rage without being consumed, to feel everything without being defined by anything. And here's where the magic begins. When you stop resisting your emotional complexity, your soul begins to sing, not in words, but in tone, in presence, in impact. You walk into a room and the frequency changes. Not because you try to shift the energy, but because your very existence is a tuning fork. The people feel more like themselves around you, even if they don't know why. You become the mirror that reminds them of their own forgotten frequencies, their own buried truths, their own hidden light. But you must ask yourself something very few ever dare to ask. Can I handle being the one who sees everything while rarely being seen? Can you hold the weight of that kind of perception without letting it harden you? Can you reflect the world with compassion, even when the world projects its shadows onto you? Because that is the calling of those who carry every vibration. And to be the mirror, yes, but also to be the source. To be not just the reflection of the universe, but the expression of it. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to contain. To contain the wild spectrum of human and divine emotion and still walk in peace. That is your power. That is your rarity. That is your path. The multidimensional nervous system, how your body translates frequencies from other realms. Have you ever wondered why your body reacts before your thoughts do? Why your skin tingles when someone tells a lie, even if their words sound perfect? Why your chest tightens in certain places, even when nothing visible is wrong. Why you feel drained after being near certain people or charged up around others without exchanging a single word. It's because your body isn't just a biological machine, it's a multidimensional receiver. And if you carry every vibration ever known, your nervous system doesn't just process information from this world. It processes data from all worlds. Your nervous system is like a cosmic antenna, constantly decoding frequencies that most people don't even register. Every cell in your body is listening, not just to sound, but to vibration, to the subtle shifts in energy that ripple through space, time, emotion, and even dimensions. You might think you're just sensitive, but what's actually happening is something far more rare. You are translating spiritual data into physical awareness. You are feeling the language of the unseen in your bones, in your gut, in your breath. And this is not a glitch. This is your design. When people say trust your body, they usually mean intuition. But for someone like you, it goes deeper. You're not just intuitive, you're interdimensional. You feel the past, the future, the souls of others, even the unspoken prayers of the earth itself. And because you carry every vibration, your body knows how to interpret them all. That's why you felt things others can't explain. Why your body has reacted to spiritual shifts with physical symptoms, random fatigue after a full moon, nausea during a planetary retrograde, tears triggered by music that doesn't even have lyrics. Your body isn't malfunctioning, it's decoding. But here's the challenge. We live in a world that doesn't teach us how to honor that kind of sensitivity. We're told to push through, to numb out, to medicate the very symptoms that are actually our gifts. And because of that, many who carry every vibration walk around feeling ill, off, or overwhelmed when in reality, they're just misinterpreting their own signals. What feels like anxiety might be your body responding to a sudden frequency drop. What feels like disassociation might be your energetic field momentarily shifting dimensions. What feels like exhaustion might be your system recalibrating after absorbing and transmuting collective grief. So how do you survive in a body that doesn't just feel your own energy, but the energy of everything? You have to learn to treat your body like a sacred instrument, not a servant, not a problem, but a portal. That means slowing down enough to listen. It means asking yourself, is this mine? Every time you feel a sudden wave of emotion, it means creating rituals that ground you not just physically but energetically, but salt baths, nature walks, breathwork, sound healing, movement that isn't about performance but about release. Because your body holds more than it shows. And if you don't give it a way to let go, it will carry the weight of the world until it breaks. And yet, in all of this, there's a hidden miracle. Your body is not just reacting, it's communicating. It's showing you pathways to healing that words never could. It's teaching you how to navigate realms beyond logic. When your skin prickles, when your heart races, when your stomach flips, it's not random. It's a message, and the more you listen, the more fluent you become in the language of the cosmos. You may not realize this, but you already know how to read energy. You already know how to feel timelines. You already know when someone's soul is crying, even if their face is smiling. That's not a curse. That's a capacity. And it's time to stop apologizing for it. Stop shrinking it. Stop medicating it into silence. because that sensitivity is your superpower. It's what allows you to translate the vibrations of pain into compassion, and the vibrations of fear into wisdom, and the vibrations of chaos into art. Let me ask you something that most people never consider. What if your body is not just reacting to the world, but helping to rewrite it? What if your very presence in a room, your breath, your stillness, your vibration shifts the frequency of that space in ways no one can see, but everyone can feel? What if your nervous system is not just yours, but a tuning fork for the evolution of consciousness? You see, when you carry every vibration, you are not here to ascend out of your body, you are here to anchor spirit into it, to become the place where heaven and earth meet, to be the vessel through which forgotten frequencies return to the world. That's why your journey has been so intense. That's why your body has been through so much. Because it's not just holding your story, it's holding every story your soul has ever touched. And that is why you feel everything so deeply. Because you are not just human, you are a living bridge, a sacred nerve in the body of the universe. And your sensitivity is not the problem, it is the proof. It becoming the frequency, why you are the living song of the universe. There comes a moment in every rare soul's journey when the question changes. It's no longer how do I survive this world, or why do I feel everything? The question becomes something far deeper, far more courageous. What if I am not meant to escape these vibrations, but to become them? What if the vastness I feel inside isn't a flaw but a frequency the world has forgotten how to hear? What if I am not here to chase the light or reject the dark, but to become the song that holds them both? You see, when you carry every vibration ever known, you are not just a mirror, not just a receiver. You are a living orchestra of the cosmos. Every emotion, every memory, every realm you've touched, every timeline you've crossed, they all live inside your field, waiting to be expressed. You don't just feel energies, you are energy. You are the music of everything that has ever existed, playing in a form the world can touch. And the moment you stop resisting your intensity is the moment that music begins to sing freely through you. This is the final sign, the rarest of all. You reach a place where you don't just carry frequencies, you become them. You walk into a room and the energy shifts, not because of what you say or do, but because of what you are. You speak, and people feel something ancient wake up inside them. You sit in silence, and others begin to cry. You touch someone, and they remember pieces of themselves they didn't know were missing. It's not magic. It's not power in the way the world defines it. It's resonance, pure, embodied resonance. But to truly embody that, you must let go of the old story. The one that said you were too much. The one that said you were broken. The one that told you to fix, to heal, to shrink, to hide. That story is too small for a soul like yours. You were never here to be understood by the masses. You were here to be felt by those who were ready. You were never here to fit in. You were here to tune the planet back to its original frequency through your presence, your pain, your beauty, your chaos, your truth. This is the great paradox. The more you allow yourself to feel, the more free you become. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop resisting it. You stop trying to edit your experience. You stop trying to be one thing. You let yourself be the entire spectrum. And that's when the song begins to rise within you. A song not made of notes, but of knowing. A song made of everything you've survived, everything you've loved, everything you've lost, and everything you've remembered. And that's when others begin to hear it too, not with their ears, but with their souls. They won't know why they're drawn to you, why they feel safe, why they feel seen. But you'll know that it's not about charisma or charm. It's about frequency. It's about embodiment. It's about becoming what the world forgot it needed, a being who holds the full spectrum without flinching. So I ask you, one final question, one that only the rarest among us will ever fully answer. What happens when you stop trying to be light and instead become the whole sky? What happens when you stop seeking purpose outside yourself and realize you are the pulse of the universe in human form? You are the vibration that remembers, the tone that heals, the silence that holds. You are the living song of the universe, and your time to be heard is now.